Assalamu alaikum children, and welcome to another episode of the Butterfly Corner on Hilaal TV. My name is Samira and I'll be keeping you company every single day. Look children, we have another wonderful lesson planned just for you. Today I was sitting with my paper, my crayons, my colors, and thinking of something wonderful. Do you remember the story of Nuh alayhi salam? If you don't worry, I'll tell it to you later. But today, before we get started with our story, I want to draw a beautiful ark, just like the one Nuh alayhi salam and his people used. If you don't know the story yet, don't worry. I'm going to tell it to you soon. Children, if you'd like to draw an ark with me, get all your art supplies and come closer. I'm going to use paper and crayons and pencils and pencil colors, but you can use anything that you have at home. If you have pens or paint or markers, you can use those too. Let's get started. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now children, who can tell me what is an ark? If you said an ark is a giant boat, you're absolutely right. An ark is so big that it can sail across the seas. It's like a ship. It's bigger than a boat and can fit lots of people inside. That reminds me of something. Remember, children, did you know the people of Nuh alayhi salam were saved on an ark? Don't worry, we'll get there soon. The first thing I'm going to do is to outline the ark in pencil. So if we make a mistake, we can always just erase it and start again. Come closer. The first thing I'm going to do is to make a small curved line on the side of my paper. Then I'm going to join up this way and make another curved line like that. Don't worry, we're going to outline it soon. The next thing I'm going to do is to make a curved line going all the way to the other side of the page. Then I'm going to make a small line going down and one more like that. I know you're very confused, but don't worry, we'll get there soon. Then I'm going to make a line going from the one side of our ark and join it to that corner. Then I'm going to make one lightly going to that corner. But wait, an ark is in the water, isn't it? So let's give it some water, just like this. Then I'm going to make a line going up here and across, up here and join it there. Don't worry, we'll recap soon. And then all the way down again and join it on this side. We need to have a sail with a flag. So a line goes up there and one more on that side. And then our little flag over here. The flag tells people where you're from and whose ark it is. On this side, I'm going to add some more water, just like that. Children, don't worry if you missed a step or two. Let's go over it together. I'm going to make my ark with the blue water and a purple ark. What color is yours? Let's go over it together. We started off by making a curly line on the one side. Then we made a line going up and another curly line on the other side. Then we went all the way across like that. There we go. Then we made a line going down on the one side and one more on the other side. Then we joined it all together like this. Then we made a line up this side for the back of the ark, a line going up, a line coming down, and another rounded curly line going all the way across, just like this. And then we joined it on the side. We gave it 2 lines going up and a wonderful flag, just like this. Children, what's the next thing we have to do? We have to add the water, of course, and that's where our blue comes in handy. Our blue waves will start by crashing alongside our little ark, by making curvy lines going all across. Now you can have lots and lots of waves just like this. How many waves did you have next to your ark? What color is your flag? I'm going to do mine in pink. You can do whatever you want on your flag. You can turn it into a Palestinian flag, or a South African flag, or a flag from the country that you live in. Before we go any further, let's color in our ark and our water. But before we start coloring, let's take the name of Allah. Today, let's make the dhikr of Allah that says, Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. Let's get started. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Remember, when you make the dhikr of Allah while you're doing anything, Allah will give you giant rewards for doing small little things. Allahu Akbar, 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 Allahu Akbar. Just like that. Let's move on to the next part of our ark now. And inshallah later on, I'll tell you the real story of Nuh alayhi salam. I can't wait to share that story with you. I absolutely love that story, and it's a story that teaches us so much. Like the other stories of the prophets that teach us so much, the story of Nuh alayhi salam does the same. There we go. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Children, isn't Allah the greatest to be able to keep a giant ark up on the top of the sea and not sink it down? Isn't Allah the greatest to be able to control every single wave of the sea? Isn't Allah the greatest that He can control the movement of the wind and the earth and the sky? Isn't Allah the greatest that He can keep the sun up high? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And just like that, my ark is done. I'm going to color in the bottom too. What fun! But while I'm coloring in, let's go take a quick break. And when we come back, inshallah, I'll share with you the story. Stay tuned. Welcome back, my butterflies. My butterflies, did you know that every time the people went astray, Allah sent a new prophet to guide them and to show them the way? Those who had listened were good and pure, and they were granted Jannah. Those who didn't listen were sinful and unjust and cruel. Nuh alayhi salam invited people to accept Islam for 950 years. Can you imagine even being alive for such a long time? The people in those years used to live for ages. For us, 950 years old sounds very old, isn't it? But when the prophets were sent, people lived for much longer. So the people were called to Allah for 950 years. Now the humble people obeyed and listened. They listened to the teachings of Nuh alayhi salam. They believed that he was a prophet, and when he called them to accept Islam, they listened. But there were proud people who called him a liar. They carried on worshipping idols. His wife and son were also from those who didn't want to accept Islam. There were people who told him, if the punishment of Allah is real, and if you are a true Nabi, then bring on the punishment of Allah. Now, after inviting them for 950 years, Nuh alayhi salam told Allah to punish them. So, Allah told Nuh alayhi salam to start building an ark. Now, some people laughed at Nuh alayhi salam. They said, there's no sea here. If there's no sea and no ocean, can you imagine how silly he looked building an ark? But Nuh alayhi salam knew in the power of Allah. He believed in Allah. So the people who were good helped him to build this big giant ark. Then the people who disbelieved laughed at him. When the ark was ready, and it was big and strong, Allah told Nuh alayhi salam to place a pair of every living creature, a male and a female, on the ship. Can you imagine a giant ark with every kind of animal and creature that he could think of? Nuh alayhi salam followed Allah's command, and there were 82 people who listened, so they joined him on the ark. But Nuh alayhi salam's wife and son didn't want to listen. All of a sudden, it began to rain. This rain was so big that it brought about a great flood. All the people who didn't listen tried to climb to the top of the mountains, but even they were not safe. All the people who didn't want to listen were drowning. The only people who were safe were Nuh alayhi salam and those on the ship. Now, children, do you remember what Allah ordered Nuh alayhi salam to do? That's right, to build a giant ark. What did the people do to Nuh alayhi salam and his followers? Do you know? Let's see. They laughed at him, they didn't listen to him, and they told him to tell Allah to bring the punishment, isn't it? And what was the results? Those who listened jumped onto the ark and were saved. And those who didn't listen were drowned in the giant flood. It was wonderful to see the people on board. Can you imagine them praying to Allah? Can you imagine every creature in a male and female all around you? It must have been wonderful. Children, unfortunately, we've come to the end of another show. Don't worry, we'll be back again soon. Don't forget to send me a message. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Until next time, fi amanillah, ma'as salama.